All right, we're going to make a document partially made in Illustrator just so that you will know how to do this. And since you're choosing some kind of illustration, this is a good place to start with Illustrator. So, well, the thing that's different in Illustrator is, first of all, that we don't open the file that we're using. So we start with a new document, and I'm making this 8.5 by 11 because it's a vector graphic, and that means we can make it smaller and create it bigger when we're done if we need to. And I want mine vertical, so there's horizontal and vertical, and I'll click create. All right, and then to get our file in there, then we must place the file. So I'm coming into place, and I want to work with a little girl catching a ball in her glove, that one right there. And I clicked place, and I'm going to put it up here and then drag it with my arrow to how much ever big that I want her to be. Now she was a little distorted, so I'm going to undo and try it again. This time I'm holding down my shift key, and you notice then the proportions don't get all wonky and she doesn't look fatter than she is taller when I drag it by holding down shift. All right. Then the very first thing you want to do is make sure your layer panel is out here. If it's not there, it will be under window just like in Photoshop. And we're going to lock this layer because we don't want anything to happen to it. We don't want to accidentally draw on top of it. So locking it is probably the most important thing that you can do. The next thing, because if you draw on top of it, then you can't get rid of it. The next thing we're going to do is put a new layer right on top of it. You can see that it's right by turning that bottom layer off and having the top layer on. Now this is your color for drawing. And there's two things that you can use. I like the paintbrush, but I'm going to show you both the paintbrush and the pen. But this white page means this is a fill, and then this is the outline, and that's a stroke. So on the fill, we're going to click this diagonal bar through that. Now, if you don't want it to be black, if black is harder to see, you can change that to a color, blue or anything else, and then change it black when we're done. And just so that it will show up, I'm going to do that. Wait, one more time. Blue, blue, click OK. It's not changing my color to blue. Select color, only web colors, blue. Okay, they're all changed. All right, so if I was going to use the pen, it's going to look very choppy unless I do a smoothing exercise to it. I'm going to start with a little wider pen, then I'm going to change it to when I'm done to show you why. And then I'm going to zoom in, view, zoom until I get really, really close so I can see what I'm doing. View, zoom in, view, zoom in. And then I'm going to move it up so that I just have her baseball glove because I'm going to work on her baseball glove with the pen. All right, so this is my pen tool. And how this works, and especially since we've zoomed in, is that instead of drawing, you make dots. So all along the outside of every part of this baseball glove that I want to show in my drawing, I will make a dot. Okay, now if I get up to the top here and it closes and I'm done, that's good. I can go and start on another. If it doesn't close, then what I do is I look at my layers. Where did my layers go? Window. They got closed accidentally. I can lock that and unlock it and start a new one. So if I get stuck and it won't let me close it, I usually will lock and unlock. And it's supposed to work by double clicking, but I can never get it to do that. All right, so then I'll come and do a new section. And then you can just like you've been doing in Photoshop, you can continue to do this entire thing of whatever that you want to have a line for in your illustration. You can copy it in this manner. Pretty easy. It's just not my favorite way to work. And I like drawing in Illustrator better than Photoshop because I'll show you in a minute. I think my lines are cleaner. So I can just keep going. I'll stop when I get up to this edge, I think. All right, and I'm locking it. All right. The lines look a little bit herky-jerky, and I don't like that unsmooth effect. So I'm going to unlock it and pretend that I have done the whole entire thing. And then I'm going to select everything. And I can do that by clicking right here on that circle, and see all the little dots everywhere I clicked comes out. And I can go to I can do some of these different things. I could try different brush strokes. I could try blurring. I could try warp. I can stylize. Stylize is usually the one that I want to do because I just want to get rid of the herky-jerkiness of it right now. So I'm going to stylize and go down to round corners, and I'm going to use the radius that's there. And notice how my corners now are nice and smooth. They're no longer herky-jerky. So you can do the whole entire thing with a pen then if you would like. And that's at 0.75 points. So I would prefer, because to me it's just faster. I'm still at 0.75 points. And then I can just take the brush. Oops, it's much fatter. And it fights me all the time. So I'm going to select everything and take that back to 0.75. All right, my brush, there's all of it at that one. There's all of it at that one. 3-point round. But it is not at 0.75. Let's try 0.25. There's usually what I have been doing for my brush drawings. If I can get it to stop arguing with me, I'd much rather draw with that. And now I can just continue on and draw everything. I'm just going to change it all when I'm done because it is going to fight me to go back to 1 point. So I can finish the whole entire glove with this fat 1 point. It just seems much less problematic, I think, to add my lines in with the paintbrush than it does one click at a time. And you can undo anything that you don't like, that you think has not come in correctly. And since these are so fat, I may not be getting the details that I really want in here. That we'll see. All right, now I'm going to select everything again and go to 0.25. And I don't have to smooth it because I've been drawing it with the brush and that step is already done. But the color is blue and I'm going to want my color to be black. So I can come into my stroke while it's still selected and change it all to black. And then turn off and look at my glove and see if I have anything that I might have missed in my drawing. And usually when I get everything drawn, I will look at them and maybe there's some lines that I want to put in that don't quite make sense. And I think it erased some of the top of that. And I can't tell, but I think there's crisscrosses here. So I'm going to add them in because I think this leather stitching is on the side of most baseball gloves. All right, one more time. This is fighting me. And I can deselect and look at that. All right, and so I can continue the whole entire drawing until I have it done. And then I'm going to save it two ways. I'm going to save as and call it, in case I don't finish or I need to go back and redo something, and call it the file of, in an AI file. So this one I'm going to call baseball, and I will just save it on my drive where I've got it under kids. Okay, and that will let me work on it elsewhere if I need to. I can see, and I can try. It says 0.25 calligraphic. I like that thin line. It looks like a drawing line for my purposes, but every single time until I can get it to stop arguing, it's going to draw this thick line in here. And sometimes it is better just not to argue with the turkey thing. And then look at it and see how you got it. All right, when I have the whole entire drawing done, then I'm going to export it. And I'm going to export as, and these are going to be my files that I can work in Photoshop with. So here's other drawings that I've done. And then I'm going to save it as a PNG. And when you click export, then you will see the resolution there. You want to make sure the resolution is at high because we're making these things so that they can be printed. With you do not have to make your background color transparent if you don't want to. The nice thing is if you're combining one piece with another, that might save you a step, and then just click OK when you're done. And that's it for this one.